Welcome to Legion Builds, where I guide you on how to bring fictional characters into Dungeons & Dragons. This video and all my content is made possible by my Patreon supporters, and it's dedicated to every one of you who subscribes to my channel. I wouldn't do any of this without you guys, so thank you. Join the Legion today over on Patreon for free to help decide next week's new character. It's another round of Mortal Kombat with Frost versus D'Vorah. Today we're returning to the fog and bringing to life Rin Yamamoka, also known as the Spirit. A blood descendant of Kaizen Yamamoka, the creature now known as the Oni, Rin was born with rage in her heart. This rage stayed buried deep within her due to her own fear, but like all those touched by the entity, it wasn't going to be hidden for very long. Rin's father was a proud and vicious person who abused his wife and daughter over his own failings. Eventually, he snapped and brutally murdered both Rin and her mother. As Rin lay dying, something came to her from the darkness. This creature promised Rin vengeance, and all she had to do was swear to serve it. Needless to say, that was the entity, and Rin fully embraced the bargain. In her new form, the Spirit is an Onryu. Yes, I know that's actually one of the killers in Dead by Daylight. We'll be doing her later, but this is also a classification of ghost in Japan. Like all ghosts, the Spirit can cross the ethereal plane. When she does this, she can move with greater speed and phase through solid objects. She can also summon the Shattered Katana, a blade that drips with the blood of her family. For today's build, we'll be using the Player's Handbook, Xanathar's Guide to Everything, and Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft. I'll also be talking about a third-party book that I think you should check out, but you won't need it for this build. We're using standard point array to keep things simple for this build, and we are multi-classing, so keep an eye on stat minimums. We're going to start things off with strength at 15. While you were alive, most saw you as a weak creature, but you are actually a brutal fighter who viciously beat several classmates with ease. Charisma will follow at 14. You spent your mortal life repressing your emotions because of your rage. Now you are just pure emotion. Dex flies in with 13. You are pretty fast to begin with, but we won't be able to raise this up much further. Con will drop in at 12. Being undead has done wonders for your physical capabilities. Wisdom's going to be low with a 10, and we're dropping intelligence. Neither are really important for this build, but you had great impulse control in life, and if you don't have something in perception, you won't be fun for the entity to use. You also weren't really dumb in any sense, so we'll fix the intelligence later if you want. Rin was a human, but the Spirit is a ghost. Reborn from Van Richten's will have to do. This is where we'll talk about the third-party company, but in a minute. Place +2 into Charisma and +1 into Strength. Deathless nature makes you harder to kill because you're already dead. You have advantage on saving throws against diseases and poisons, resistance to poison damage, advantage on death saving throws. You don't need to eat, drink, or breathe, and you don't sleep and can't be put to sleep magically. Your long rests are 4 hours long, where you are fully aware of everything happening around you. Ancestral Legacy grants you 2 skills from your former life, or skills you'll need in your new one. Take Stealth and Perception. Knowledge from a past life allows you to add 1d6 to any skill check you make. You can do this a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus. To finish out your lineage, you know the language Common and one other of your choice. For background, take the skills Athletics and Acrobatics. As I said, you actually were physically capable in your mortal life. You also have 2 proficiencies of your choice that can be Tool and/or Language. Now we're going to stop talking about official content for a second. Reborn aren't ghosts, but they can be ghosts if you want them to be. Now what if you want to play a real ghost? Tome of Heroes from my favorite third-party company, Kobold Press, lets you play as a ghost, or as they call it, Shade. Shade can go full ghost and can now fly while you have resistance to damage types. You can also drain life energy, you have dark vision, and resistance to necrotic damage. I'm just going to say it, Reborn is actually better, but this could be pretty fun, so if you want to be a real ghost, check out Kobold Press's Tome of Heroes and have some fun. Level 1 Warlocks start off with 2 skills. Take Intimidation and Investigation. You are proficient with simple melee weapons, light armor, and the saving throws Wisdom and Charisma. Otherworldly Patron is a sorcerer power. I'm just going to say this, the entity can be anything, as we have no real understanding of what it is. So we're going with Undead from Van Richten's. Form of Dread allows you to reveal your more ghostly form. With a bonus action, for 1 minute, you transform and gain several benefits. You gain 10% temporary HP equal to 1d10 plus your Warlock level, you are immune to the Frightened condition, and once per turn when you hit a creature with an attack you can force a Wisdom save. If they fail, they are now frightened of you until the end of your next turn. Frightened creatures have disadvantage on all skill checks and attack rolls while they can see the creature that is frightening them, and they can't willingly move closer to the source of their fear. You can use your Dread form a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus between long rests. Pact Magic makes you a fake spellcaster. You have limited spell slots, like one spell slot right now, but they will be at the highest level you can cast, and you will regain all used spell slots at the end of a short or long rest. You start off with 2 cantrips and 2 first level spells. For your spells, Cause Fear lets you awaken the dread from one creature within 60 feet. You choose one creature within range and force a Wisdom save. If they fail, they become frightened of you for 1 minute while you maintain the spell. At the end of each of their turns, they can retake the save to end the effect. As your spell slots level up, you will be able to target more creatures with this. Hex lets you curse a creature within 90 feet with a bonus action. For 1 hour while you maintain this spell, you will deal an extra 1d6 necrotic damage. When you cast this spell, you can also choose one skill, and now they have disadvantage on that skill when the spell is active. If the creature dies before the hour is up, you can transfer the curse with a bonus action. You also still have cantrips, but none fit for you, so customize this how you want. Level 2 Warlocks gain Eldritch Invocations. These are special features that grant you new abilities or enhance some you already have. You get 2 at this level. For your invocations, Armor of Shadows lets you cast Mage Armor without a spell slot or material components. This gives you an AC of 13 plus Dex for 8 hours when not wearing armor. Devil's Sight lets you see in both darkness and magical darkness out to 120 feet as if it's normal. Now this isn't dark vision. You see perfectly in dark as if it's normal. For your new spell, Bane lets you curse up to 3 creatures within 30 feet of you by forcing a charisma save. If they fail for 1 minute while you maintain the spell, they must subtract 1d4 from any attack roll or saving throw they make. As you gain higher spell slots, you can curse more creatures. Also, you now have 2 spell slots. Level 3 Warlocks receive their Pact Boon, a special gift from their patron. Pact of the Blade will allow you to summon the Shattered Katana. With an action, you can summon any melee weapon, and you are proficient with it regardless of what it is. Though I should say, you actually were proficient in katanas in your life. This weapon is magical, and you can store it in an extra dimensional space, which you can then resummon it when you need it with an action. You can even bond with a magical weapon and make it your Pact weapon. Your spell slots are upgraded to 2nd level. For your new spell, Misty Step lets you shunt to an open space you can see within 30 feet with a bonus action. Level 4 Warlocks earn our first ability score improvement. Let's start bumping up Charisma to make you scarier. For your new spell, Invisibility turns you invisible for 1 hour while you maintain the spell. You remain invisible until you attack or cast a spell. You also get a new cantrip, and as I've said before, none fit you. But if I were you, I'd get some ranged attacks. Level 1 fighters now have bonus proficiencies. You are now proficient with all weapons, shields, and medium armor. This is basically useless for you, but as I said, you were already proficient with a katana before you died. Fighting style improves your combat. With dueling, this adds +2 to your damage when wielding a weapon with one hand and holding no other weapon. Second Wind lets you heal yourself 1d10 plus your fighter level once per short or long rest with a bonus action. Your character level 5 now, time to bump up your proficiency bonus to +3. Level 2 fighters gain Action Surge. You can now give yourself a free action once per short or long rest. Level 3 fighters receive their subclass. Samurai from Xanathar's will be our choice. First, you gain a new skill proficiency from History, Insight, Performance, or Persuasion. You choose. If none of these work for you though, grab a new language instead. Fighting Spirit lets you focus on your attacks. With a bonus action, you can give yourself advantage on all attacks until the end of your turn, and you gain 5 temporary HP. You can use this feature 3 times between long rests. Now, temporary HP doesn't stack, so if you have it from your Form of Dread, you can't gain it from this one. And in all honesty, Form of Dread will always be better anyway, but this is a nice little backup. Level 4 fighters earn another ability score improvement. Let's bump up strength for better attack and damage. Level 5 fighters now have extra attack. You can now attack twice with a single attack action. Your character level 9, time for your proficiency bonus to raise up again, now to +4. Level 6 fighters earn another ability score improvement, cap off charisma. Level 5 warlocks gain another invocation. For this invocation, improved packed weapon adds +1 to your packed weapon's attack and damage and makes it your spellcasting focus. This also allows you to make your packed weapon ranged, but you still need ammunition for the weapon. Your spell slots are also upgraded to 3rd level. Make sure to check out your spells to see if there's any upgrade if they are casted at higher levels. For your new spell, Spirit Shroud unleashes your deathly powers. For 1 minute while you maintain the spell, you will deal 1d8 damage when you hit a creature within 10 feet of you. This damage can be radiant, necrotic, or cold. Necrotic or cold is very ghost-like, so choose either of them. Now I should say, once you cast Spirit Shroud, that's when you choose what the damage type is. It is not every time you attack. In addition, any creature of your choice within 10 feet of you has its speed reduced by 10 feet until the start of your next turn. Level 6 undead warlocks receive Grave Touch, which does a few things you can already do, so let's talk about what it gives you that you don't already do. Once per turn, when you hit a creature with an attack, you can turn the damage into necrotic damage. If you're in your form of dread and you use this ability, you can add 1 more additional damage dice to the attack. For your new spell, Fear fires a 30-foot cone from you and forces a wisdom save on everyone within the cone. Should they fail, they are now frightened of you for 1 minute while you maintain the spell. Wait, it gets better. While frightened, they drop what they are holding and now must use their action to dash away from you. They cannot retake the save until they break line of sight from you. So chase those bastards down and don't break line of sight. Level 7 warlocks get a new invocation. For this invocation, Eldritch Smite lets you burn warlock spell slots to add 1d8 force damage per slot level to the attack with your packed weapon. If you do this, you can knock the target prone if it is a size category huge or smaller. By the way, your spell slots are upgraded to 4th level. For your new spell, Death Ward protects you from death. For 8 hours, you are warded against death. If you drop to 0 HP within that time, the spell ends and you drop to 1 HP instead. This will also stop any effect that auto kills, like Power Word Kill, by stopping the spell and negating the effect. Another milestone, your character level 13, bump up your proficiency bonus to +5. Level 8 warlocks earn another ability score improvement, Cap Off Strength. For your new spell, Greater Invisibility makes you completely invisible for 1 minute while you maintain the spell. Level 9 warlocks gain another invocation. For this invocation, Eldritch Mind gives you advantage on con checks you make to maintain spells. Your spell slots are now maxed out at level 5. For your new spell, Far Step allows you to shunt to a space you can see within 60 feet with a bonus action, and you can maintain this spell for 1 minute and use this shunt every turn with a bonus action. Level 10 undead warlocks receive Necrotic Husk. You now have resistance to necrotic damage, and you're immune to it if you are in your form of dread. In addition, if you drop to 0 HP, you can drop to 1 HP instead with a reaction, and then erupt in necrotic energy. Each creature within 30 feet of your choice takes 2d10 plus your warlock level in necrotic damage, but you gain 1 level of exhaustion. Once you use this reaction, you can't do this again until you finish 1d4 long rests. You get your final cantrip here, take what you want. Level 11 warlocks now have Mystic Arcanum. These are free spells higher than level 5 that you can cast once per long rest. This Arcanum is at 6th level. For this Arcanum, take what you want. None fit your character, but several fit your whole theme. So you decide and have some fun. For your new spell, also take what you want because we have all the spells you need. Seriously. By the way, you now have 3 spell slots. You've reached character level 17, max out your proficiency bonus with a +6. Level 12 warlocks earn our final ability score improvement. Let's go ahead and erase that negative and place this into intelligence. If you don't like this, go ahead and throw it someplace else. I just don't really want to end this build with a negative. You also get your final invocation, and we're going with one of my favorite invocations, Life Drinker. This adds necrotic damage to your pack weapon that equals your charisma modifier. Level 13 Warlocks gain our final Mystic Arcanum, this time at 7th level. For this Arcanum, Etherealness lets you enter the ethereal plane for up to 8 hours. While in the ethereal plane, you can move in any direction, including up or down, at the cost of an extra foot of movement if you do so. Now, while you can't see past 60 feet or affect any creature or object, you aren't affected by any object and can't be seen or heard by anything on the material plane. This means you can pass through solid objects and get where you want to get without being noticed. When you end this spell, you return to the material plane, but you will take damage if you are occupying the same space as something else. Heads up, this spell does not work if you are already on the ethereal plane or on the outer planes. For your final spell, take what you want. I would really add some ranged spells to this build if I were you. Our final level is level 14 Warlock, and Undead Warlocks receive Spirit Projection. With an action, you separate your spirit from your body. For up to 1 hour while you maintain this spell, you can move free of your body. While free, you are resistant to piercing, slashing, and bludgeoning damage. Spells from the Conjuration and Necromancy schools do not require verbal or somatic components, as well as material components if they have no gold cost. You have a flying speed equal to your walking speed, and you can hover, which means you will not fall while you're flying. And you can move through objects as if they are difficult terrain. If you end your turn within the same space as another object, you take 1d10 force damage. Finally, if you are using your Form of Dread once per turn when you deal necrotic damage to a creature, you regain HP equal to half the necrotic damage. You can use this once per long rest. Now that we've hit level 20, let's recap. Your stats are Strength 20, Dex 13, Con 12, Intelligence 10, Wisdom 10, Charisma 20. Your total levels are Warlock 14, Fighter 6. Let's dive in. There's a lot of good things here that I like, so let's start with damage and attacks. Using a longsword, you're attacking at plus 12 and dealing 1d8 plus 8 slashing damage and plus 5 necrotic damage. And that's just with your sword, and it can be at advantage. You can add more damage to this multiple ways using spells or by burning spell slots to add 5d8 force damage. You can attack twice with a single action and can then give yourself another action for 4 attacks. Your movement capabilities are also amazing, as you can teleport up to 60 feet or enter another plane of existence to move through everything in your way. By the way, you can also go invisible in multiple ways. Finally, my 2 favorite things about this build: fear and undeath. You can scare people by just being near them, with or without spells, and you're just hard to kill with the ability to not drop to 0 HP, heal, advantage on death saves, damage resistances, and up to 1d10 plus 14 temporary HP. Downside. Firstly, all that stuff that keeps you alive is really needed. Your AC is only 14 and your total health, taking the average, is just around 120. You have limited resources also, 3 spell slots, 3 uses of Fighting Spirit, and a few one-off abilities. If you're not careful, you could burn all the good stuff. Finally, you have no ranged attacks, and with your health, being attacked at range is going to be scary. So you'll need some ranged options to even the playing field, but there's also a lot of room here for customization. Get out there and unleash your rage in the name of a twisted game. Thank you for joining me today. Make sure to like and subscribe to not miss a single new build each week on YouTube and Spotify, and make sure to check out my Patreon where you can help decide next week's new character.